Did you know that more than 2 people die every second? While you're watching this video, someone has just died. And while you're hearing this sentence, probably someone else. Around 67 million people die every year. 170,000 per day. More than 7,000 per hour. And yet we spend 20 years in the education system without dedicating a single serious class to understanding what death is. We learn trigonometry. We learn medieval history. But we don't learn how to process the only guaranteed fact of our biography. That we are going to die. Different cultures interpret death in different ways and have different customs related to it. It's no surprise then that questions circulate such as, what happens when someone dies? Though in reality, the real question is whether anything happens when someone dies. That difference is enormous, because the first question already assumes continuity. The second challenges the assumption. Something curious is that everything we know has an expiration date, yet we only question our own. For example, have you ever wondered what happened after the death of the chicken you ate yesterday? Let's answer the question, what happens after death? Many things happen, but none of them have anything to do with you. Let's define death precisely. Structural biologist and Nobel Prize-winning chemist Venki Ramakrishnan describes it as the irreversible loss of the ability to function as a coherent whole. The organism can no longer exist as a unit. In other words, death is not an experience you are going to have. It is the definitive absence of experience. You are not going to be dead, you simply will not be. And here comes something interesting. Not existing after death is exactly the same as not having existed before your conception. You did not suffer in the 17th century. You were not anxious in 1800 for not being alive. Non-existence was never a problem, so why should it be afterward? Let's not confuse the survival instinct with fear of death. The survival instinct is healthy. It's biology. It's evolution. Fear of death is something else. It's anxiety in the face of an abstract idea. Epicurus said it more than 2,000 years ago. It is irrational to suffer over something that will occur precisely when you no longer exist. And now comes the important part. Accepting that we are going to die should not depress us. It should focus us. Think of a movie you love. Have you ever stopped enjoying it because you know it will end in 2 hours? Of course not. You enjoy it precisely because it ends. The limit gives it value. On an ethical level, accepting death makes it easier to understand and support fundamental rights such as euthanasia and assisted suicide, which are solutions to unnecessary suffering. All the reasons for prohibiting them are, in the end, irrational. Understanding that our life is a series of natural phenomena with a biological ending is not a tragedy. It is a truth that makes everything we do now have incalculable value. All of this should be part of our education from childhood. Death is not a dark mystery, it is a biological boundary. In thousands of years, we have made no progress regarding the question, what happens when we die? And this question, besides being poorly framed, makes no sense. A better question, one in which we have made enormous progress, is, why do we die? Research related to that question has not only helped us live longer, but also with much greater quality. And here is the real problem. When we do not understand death, we begin to build irrational beliefs. We waste resources on fantasies. We make decisions based on fear. Instead of asking what happens after, we should ask, what am I going to do now? Time is a non-renewable resource. The phrase killing time makes no sense. Time is what's going to kill you. Understanding death changes the way we live, not to obsess over the end, but to use it as a frame of reference. If you know time is limited, you choose better. You tolerate less nonsense. You make more of what truly matters. You cannot avoid dying. But you can decide how to live before that happens, and that starts now.